Hey everybody, John Brown here, and I get to officially announce the name of this podcast on an individual episode, as well as kind of talk to you about some stuff going on in 2026. Well, those of you who've been watching thus far, I finally got the name of the podcast. It is called Quadcast. Quadcast because my YouTube channel is Quad Father Training, and that's where this podcast lives, and some other areas as well. But that's where this podcast kind of is. Been birthed from. And the name Quadcast of course, comes from Quad Father, which was a nickname given to me by my friends Kyle and Joanne when they were making fun of me like over 10 years ago at this point, I believe. So yeah, that's where the name Quad Father comes from. And obviously, if you've met me in person, you know my quads are pretty big. And if you haven't, just rest assured that know that they are larger than most people. Yeah, it's the Quadcast, everybody. And quad, not just because of my name, but also because of things we're going to focus on. Physical health is going to be one of the focus of this podcast. Mental health and human connection. I put those in kind of one box because I think they're pivotal to one another. Your ability to maintain your positive output perspective is reliant on the people you connect with and the people you're around you. You can regulate yourself and your own emotions, things like that, but other people in your circle, in your community can help you do that as well. So mental health and human connection to me kind of go in the same box. So those two things are together. And then of course we have nutrition and athletic performance. Now I am an expert in the field of physical health and fitness. I'm a strength conditioning coach. I've also been a personal trainer. I'm certified in nutrition. I love to read science, data, stuff like that. But I'm also, and I've done a lot of reading as far as mental health and human connection, but those are not my areas of expertise. And I'm not necessarily an expert in all areas of physical health. So, for example, I will have guests on the show who have different perspectives than me, who have more experience than me, and different approaches than me. And we'll talk and kind of learn from one another. I've had a therapist on here. Her name is Liz, and we had a great episode. She taught me a lot about mental health and human connection. So know that I feel like I'm very knowledgeable, able to have a knowledgeable based conversation, but also know that I am not the highest order in all the fields that I just mentioned, but have some professional experience and expertise and wanting to learn more. And hopefully you guys are too, which is why you're listening to my podcast. But now that we've announced the name, we kind of get to go into 2026. So yes, 2026, it's 8 days, 7 days past the first, it's been one week. And of course, this is a time where everyone is setting their own goals and wanting to, better themselves, improve themselves to have gains or progress or essentially create a new version of themselves in the year or let's say a better version of themselves this year. So because of that, we'll talk about how to goal set before I kind of go into my own, but I want to make sure that y'all know that A, I'm human, and B, I have goals of my own that I'm trying to accomplish. So let's start. Your goal should be SMART. If you watched the last episode, Kelly mentioned it, but I'm going to say it again. Your goal should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. Specific meaning that I want to lose weight. You don't want to just say I want to lose weight. There's a certain amount of weight you want to lose, a certain aesthetic you want to have. You should mention that in your goal. Measurable. Obviously, weight is the metric. If you could also use I want to drop body fat percentage, I want to change my body fat percentage, I want to build a certain amount of muscle. However it is that you would like to do it, just know that you should be able to measure your progress. There should be a metric involved. Achievable. For example, I would like to be faster than Usain Bolt. I don't really think it's achievable for me based off where I'm at, since I don't have a lot of sprinting experience. And I got weak ankles, very strong hips and legs, but weak ankles. I have an energy leak that wouldn't allow me to be a top tier sprinter without lots of training. And even then, I don't think I could take down Usain Bolt. So achievable is another aspect of it. Um, Relevant, relevant to you. Obviously, I compete in rowing, or I'm trying to get back into competing in rowing and aerobic sports. And so being an Olympic level sprinter is antithesis to um, rowing and aerobic sports, right? So, yeah. And of course, time based. Want to get these goals done by the end of the year. So yeah. So let's talk about some goals. I've kind of broken mine down into various sections. So I have like professional, I have athletic, and personal. So let's go into professional. I want Empirical Fitness, my business, to make 12K a month this year. I've never done that before. It'd be really cool if we figured out a way to do that. As a coach who kind of used to work in various like box gyms and corporate gyms, it's easier to have like that kind of number because they obviously they set the prices, but just because you bring in that much money doesn't mean that you get to keep that much money. Same thing for me. Uh, I have this evil. We all have these evil demons around that come around once a month called bills that just kind of disrupt things. And so, like, even if I make 12K a month, I'm not going to take home. I have Jazz, my marketing director, and who's also a coach for me as well. And like, she has to get paid. I have to pay for my Zoom account. I have to pay for various other things that help and assist my gym management software, so on and so forth. So, just because I make 12K doesn't mean I get to keep 12K. But yeah, I would like to. Be really rad if I could take home 6K a month. I read somewhere that um, people's quality of life, their happiness that they feel in life, it doesn't get better beyond like 72 to 75K a year as far as the money that they're making. So like the person who makes 72K a year and the person who makes 150K a year, they're not necessarily happier. They're both able to pay the majority of their bills, go on vacations, do things like that. And the 6K a month take home would actually allow me to fill within that category. And I kind of want to have that experience of like, hey, life's good. I feel happy. And so because of that, that's going to be a goal that I want to chase. So 6K a month, like take home is what I want to get to at some point this year. I want to fill up Jazz's schedule with nutrition clients. Just teach her how to be a better nutrition oriented coach. She has certifications in like athletic performance and personal training, but nutrition is a little different. Obviously, she's competent in nutrition. She's gone through the Empirical Fitness intelligent training and program design module that I created. That's what you got to do if you want to work for me. And she did that, but like there's an art to coaching interpersonal reaction and nutrition stuff that I think she can improve on. And I'm excited for her to get to do that this year. So obviously, I'm a big person investing in my people. So yeah, I want to make sure I fill up her schedule with nutrition clients. I want to hire another new coach and fill up their schedule with either nutrition clients or virtual clients. And then lastly, I want to get one new certification this year. So those are all my fitness goal, not fitness. Those are all my professional goals that involve like my business or like my business adjacent or those involved within my business. Next, we have some athletic goals. I want to row a sub 6'10" 2,000 meter row on the rowing machine. The best I've ever done in my life was a 6:14.3. So this will be like a 4 second personal best, and I think I want to get there by the end of this year. So pray for me. It's gonna be a lot of rowing and a lot of training, and I'm kind of excited to do it. And I'm trying a new method that I'm excited about. I'll go into like in my personal goals, but I want to do that. I want to row a sub 20 minutes and 30 seconds on my 6K. I want to run a sub 7 minute mile. I'll talk about why in a second. And I want to compete in a hybrid athlete event, and that's why. So hybrid athletes or hybrid athlete competitions are kind of all the rage right now. They're very trendy and fun, and I think it's kind of like a phase in fitness, like most things. Kind of like how CrossFit was this big phase, but it might be fun to participate in this phase while it's here. I'm not spending as much time on the water right now because I've been really focused on like growing myself to better grow my business to see where that can go. And so I haven't been able to focus on running on the water that much. So a lot of my stuff has been on a rowing machine or just like pounding pavement as far as running. And if you've met me, I've been anti-running for like the longest time. So it's like a new version of myself that I'm proud to bring into being and proud for the world to see. So you have that. So when I was talking with my business coach about it, I said, I think I want to do a Hard Summit this year. He's like, I've no doubt that you'll crush every obstacle they have at each of these High Rocks events. But he's like, people who win run like a sub 6 mile, and I don't think you run a sub 6 miles. Like I'm hoping I'm like high sevens right now. That's like my hope as far as like my current mile time. But obviously we'll see. I'll probably end up testing that like next week, and I'll make an episode about like that update, probably about like my goals and so on and so forth. Um, it's episode of the mile. Also have a 6K text next week, so probably do those tests on the same day. Just a lot of space in between them. And as far as like my hybrid athlete event, hopefully I'll get to do that with one of my clients. A couple of my clients have mentioned it to me, and I was like, you know what? Who wouldn't want a coach who wants to struggle with them through the mud, right? Like, obviously, if we're both at the event, it's hard for me to coach you. I can just it's my once we're there's this thing when like when you're a coach versus athlete, right? Like your coach can critique your form, give you some feedback while you're going through a workout or going through a competition or so forth. If we're both athletes in it, I'm like, hey, I can push you, but I'm not here to critique your form because we gotta win. So I think that could be pretty cool. Those are my athletic goals. So sub 610, 2K, sub 2030, 6K, sub 7 mile run, compete in a hybrid athlete event. I'm not really worried about competing in rowing events this year. I'm trying to get real fast on the rowing machine first. Ooh, personal goals. I want to travel to see the homies once this year. I got a lot of friends that I've met throughout the years, both at Culver, which is the military boarding school that I went to, and Howard, which was the university that I went to. And I've got a lot of friends. We call ourselves Men of Howard. Someone has accused us of being a group called Money Over Hose, and I thought that name was so much cooler and wish I created it, but no, it's Men of Howard, Mo. And I don't get to see my friends often enough. They're all like in DC. Very few of them are in Austin, Texas. One of my friends is in Austin, Texas, but I don't get to see him that often. He's a doctor. I'm busy as all hell, and I don't think his significant other likes me very much because I no, I'm not rude, but he was on speaker and I was asking like he had me on speaker in a car on a phone call and he didn't let me know I was on speaker, so I was saying things I should have said out loud. But yeah, that's a conversation for another time. So yeah, I want to travel see my homies at least once this year. I've got friends from various life experiences that I want to see one of visit and I won't say reconnect with because we're still connected. We have cell phones, we have text messages, we have group chats, but I'd like to dap my bros up in person. That'd be kind of cool. Um, and with that, traveling to see the homies, it kind of coincides with another goal of like going on a vacation. I don't really have vacation too much. If you know me personally, I'm kind of like a workaholic or a workhorse. Um, why I'm a workhorse? I don't know. I've never learned as a kid. I think I was kind of lazy and I didn't understand what it was like to work hard. And once I figured out working hard was something I could do better than most people, I just been doing it harder and harder and harder just because I don't know a better way to accomplish the goals I want to accomplish and help the people I want to help other than using this ability to work hard to accomplish that. I joke with my mom a lot. I want to buy her a yacht one day. I want to take her out on a boat and just let her, relax. Let my pops just kick it. You know what? Even my sister can be there too. We're not the best of friends, but you know what? I'll allow you to be on the boat too and just like spoil my family because they've been good to me. And I could be, not that I could be, of course, we can always be better, but they've been good to me. So in return, I want to be great to them, is how I would best phrase it. And that kind of goes with everybody in my life. If you've been good to me, chances are I want to be great to you. So if I get better off, I get to spoil the people that have been there for me, and that's kind of like a life goal of mine. So that's in my personal goals. Um, ooh, I want to increase my own like personal savings to like 10K this year. Not everyone knows this if you're new to the podcast, but like I like a brick and mortar, and I ran it like a really caring owner instead of like a business owner. And I opened it. A flashback. I opened the gym like December 2019. COVID happened. Shut down March of 2020. So like obviously not like a great time to open up a gym, and obviously like I have historical bad timing. Obviously, like when the PPP loans came out, they were like, "Well, how much money is your business made?" Like we just opened it, not a lot. Like okay, so they gave me like scraps when like all these other companies got huge amounts, which is fair. They have more employees, but like it was real time rough experience, and I made sure everyone else's mouths got fed like before mine. That's where most of the money that had been saved up and from the money that the revenue that we were generating was going to make sure these people were taken care of. And so I was always dipping into my savings. I think I'd saved up to like I think 20K because I was like trying to like either like buy a house, invest in a gym or something. Like it's just dreams, savings, working on it. And yeah, I blew through that just trying to make sure everyone else's mouth got fed to the point where, some nights we was having to sleep for dinner. And that's when my best friend, oh, it's a good thing I should say, my best friend Alex, he'll probably never watch this podcast episode, so I can kind of talk about it. Um, that like that man will. There's certain people who will always have a like place in my heart or like a room in my house, and Alex is one of those people because he like put food in my mouth when I didn't when I myself couldn't essentially. Just a goat, a hero, and he's someone I want to spoil and help by the end of this year as well. Don't know how, uh, but I'd like to. So yeah, safe to say, I would like to build up my savings back more this year. Like 10K, I think would be like a cool number to get to and hit. I think I can. Hopefully, I can. So let's try and get it. I think it's attainable or achievable. Um, Lastly, I want to work on athletic performance book for aerobic athletes. Essentially, I think the way most aerobic sports are currently programmed for or trained for, I think, has a flaw in their own methodology. And I think that, I'm essentially experimenting on myself and my clients. I think that if we can not undo this flaw, if we make the training more efficient, if it's focused instead on load, but instead on recovery, like what could happen? How fast could someone be? How much quicker could they adapt? And how much more gains could be seen in a specific time? And so far, it's been pretty cool. I think my own personal VO2 max, and granted, it's via a watch. My Apple Watch is what I use to track my VO2 max, but my Apple Watch VO2 max was pretty much spot on when I checked and got it like tested, like with like the mask in like a lab. And so my VO2 max has jumped from like a 46 to like a 50 point something. And I haven't seen like a 50 anything in years as far as like my VO2 max performance. The one time it was that high was when I was doing this rowing workout, incorporating it based off like the study that they did in like Australia for elite rowers or something like that for improving the VO2 max. Haven't done that workout consistently since, and thus haven't seen that kind of gains since. But without doing that, I'm currently seeing those gains. So exciting. But yeah, so those are my goals. I call my goals rival because I would like to be unrivaled. That is my goal. I've always wanted a rival. So if you are out there and you compete in anything and you would like a rival, if my goals resonate with you and you want to achieve them, and if you want a rival, like leave a comment. We can set something up because, like I said, I am begging for the smoke. I am wanting the fade. I'm wanting to be held accountable. I'm really wanting to achieve the things that I stated as far as my goals this year. Uh, this is not a new year, new me. This is a new year, but a better me. It's kind of what we're shooting for this year. So yeah, let's get after it this year, team. Uh, Obviously, this is the end of this podcast episode. I hope everything made sense. I hope something resonated with you if you took the time to listen to it. But these are things that I want to accomplish this year. I want to help the people who've helped me. I want to grow my business so I can help more people. And I kind of want to grow this podcast here. This is fun. Ooh, lastly, this is a goal I didn't have down there, but I just thought of it, so I'd probably say it out loud. I want to get not my podcast. I want to get my YouTube channel subs up to 1,000. Last year, I only gained like 28 subscribers. So we're gonna have to put forth some bigger numbers this year. But 28 subscribers is good because the year before that, I only gained like five. So that's like almost exponential growth is what they call it. Yeah. Yeah, these are 2026 goals. I'm about to get after it. I'm currently on a dense part of my training plan. So actually, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm about to go get a run and get after it some more. So obviously cross your fingers that when I test my mile next week, I'll be fast. But yeah, hope you enjoy this podcast episode. Hope you sign up or subscribe and then like show up for another one. I usually won't be yapping to myself. My next podcast episode will be with ATX Athletic. Dennis Kilberg, brilliant physical therapist, one of the only ones that I trust. I trust like 3 in my lifetime. And yeah, I think it'll be a good episode. I'm going to pick his brain about like the nuances of recovery, rehab, and physical therapy. But yeah, I'll see you all on the next episode. Later. Oh, and if you're at IkiCon this weekend, I'm a big nerd for everyone who doesn't know. I cosplay and present at anime conventions. I'll be presenting 3 panels on Saturday at IkiCon this weekend. And if you're a nerd or like anime or want to change your body to look like an anime character like I often do, you should show up to my presentation. All right. Later, everybody.